Hey everyone, I'm and welcome back to my channel. Are you here wondering if you should come back to World of Warcraft or try it out for the first time? Well, the game inevitably had its ups and downs over the years, but is it a good time to return now? We are currently midway through Dragonflight. We got our first major patch just recently, and the next patch is actually already in PTR. It feels like there's always something cooking in the background, but is the content enough? Is it gonna last? Is it easy to engage with it as a new or returning player? Well, let's tear Dragonflight apart, and you're gonna tell me if it's actually worth returning to WoW. We had some pretty major changes in Dragonflight, so if you did left in Shadowlands or BFA when things, went but maybe you should reconsider. First of all, Blizzard is trying to keep in touch with the community, and they take feedback seriously this time. But like seriously, they show us ahead of what is to come with those roadmaps we got, and they keep delivering content very often. Almost Legion-like. Yeah, you remember Legion? The greatest and most lovable expansions of them all, I dare say. It has so much content, but maybe it was a bit overflowing, to be honest. No, this time there is no grinding situations. You can just log in, level up to 70 and start playing the game, the actual endgame. You don't have to keep grinding artifacts or azerite armor or even, go through Torghast. And whatever you're doing, you're always feeling left behind. Well, this is not the case in Dragonflight. Instead of focusing time and efforts on those borrowed powers, which, we're gonna lose inevitably at the end of the expansion, they funnel that energy into creating and shaping the talent system. There are so many talent builds which shine at different situations. Even classes that are not very good at AoE or a single target, they can now manage if they tweak their talents a bit. And every patch feels like a new game with a slightly changed rotation and new talents which come up to the surface. The delivery of the patches is consistent, and I believe it has a good pace. You have enough time to chew up the content, and just when you start to get bored, well, they throw another one at you. There's always new stuff to dig into, and the patches don't feel rushed as they did in Legion, where core systems of the game were lacking. Since we are getting content more frequently, classes get updates faster, and it's easier for them to listen to our feedback and implement it much quicker. You can argue that leveling in WoW was always lacking and feeling a bit left behind compared to the endgame, which has always been expanding more and more. So if everyone over to the endgame side was having the time of their life, a new player couldn't feel the same. Well, since BFA, Blizzard has stopped overlooking the leveling experience and got to work. They implemented the Exile's Reach, a starting zone for the new players, which is fun and very explanatory. It basically gives you a glimpse of the outside world and what you can expect from the game. If you are a new player after finishing the Exile's Reach campaign and reaching level 10, then you continue your journey through the BFA expansion. The returning players on the other side can decide if they want to level from 1 to 10 through Exile's Reach or in their own starting zone depending on their race, and then they can go up to Chromie and choose what expansion they want to level up in. The Chromie time is one of the best changes we saw in leveling, as it makes it a more cohesive experience compared to previous expansions, where you did like 10 quests in one zone and then you will outlevel it and you had to move on to the next one until you had a quest log full from 10 different zones. Being able to choose the expansion of your liking is somewhat better, but again it still has its flaws. I mean, you still go through one expansion, and as a new player, you don't have a clue of what happened during Shadowlands or Legion or any other expansion. Chromie time is a massive change and it's in a good place right now, but it's surely something that it can improve. Another controversial thing we had was factions. If you always wanted to play Alliance, but there weren't just enough people pushing keys or doing raids, well, now is the best time to return. Since Shadowlands, they introduced the cross-faction instance, where you can create pre-made groups with the opposite factions and do raids or Mythic Plus together. Recently, we also got the new cross-faction guilds, which again makes communicating much easier. Lore-wise, the two factions have worked together in the past and left their differences behind. So why would the game be any different? If you want to keep it strict to your faction, you can, but if you want to work with the other faction, well, now you have the choice to do so. Mythic Plus had many changes over the course of the years, some good, some bad, but it's finally at its peak right now. In each major patch there is a new Mythic Plus pool, so there is no more chasing the same item over and over in a higher item level, which can be a bit boring and repetitive. With a new Mythic Plus rotation every season, there is new beast gear to go after, which feels more engaging. It's always exciting to see how your class plays with a different set of items. There is no seasonal affix this time around, and affixes are somewhat less complicated to deal with and less annoying, so it's a great time to start pushing keys, even if you have never done it before. I already got my 2000 rating this season, which was so much fun, and now I'm trying to push higher and try to get the 2.5k, which I've never done before. Mythic Plus is my favorite competitive content, and I urge you to give it a try, even if you hesitate. Gearing for most players is the pinnacle of their goals in MMOs, and finally in Dragonflight it has never been so easy to obtain items. And I don't mean the drop chance. Oh no, don't get me started on the drop chance, which has always been shitty and still is. No, I'm talking about more opportunities to find gear, which is the case right now. You've got your Grave Vault, you've got your Mythic Plus dungeons, you've got your raids, and even outdoor content. That's right, you can actually get decent gear from outdoor content too, which I think is especially good for casual players, which might prefer doing solo content. You can argue that WoW is designed to be played with other people. I mean, it's a freaking MMO, but not everyone has friends or family who play this game, and they might be unwilling to try with packs. And who can blame them? I mean, packs can be frustrating sometimes. The exciting part for gearing now is that every item can be upgraded further using the new upgrade system and can stay relevant for much longer. Valor was long overdue and it got replaced by 2 new currencies, Flystones and 4 types of Shadowflame crest fragments. These drop from almost any kind of PvE content, and obviously the more difficult the content, the higher quality of crest fragments you'll see. By using them, you can upgrade any piece to a higher item level, whether it comes from outdoor content, Mythic Plus, raids, or any kind of PvE activity. In Dragonflight, they also managed to give us the dream, to make professions more engaging. Professions got a complete overhaul with new specializations and points that you invest in whatever order you prefer, unlocking new perks as you go and becoming the master crafter you always wanted to be. They also introduced the work order system, from which you can have items made by other players depending on their profession and sent over to you. This applies to almost everything, even BOP items, but most importantly to gear. Yes, you can craft gear now up to Mythic equivalent, which is all great news. I mean, even if you don't get pieces from doing the content, you can always earn fragments and use them to craft items. And that's not all. The best thing that comes from the upgrading system is that even if you do end up upgrading the wrong item, you will not get punished for it. On the contrary, you'll get a discount for your next items of that slot. Basically, you can always keep upgrading your items until your best in slot drop, which I think is very good in an MMO. I mean, the fact that you can always be rewarded for your efforts and you can plan ahead of what item you want to upgrade or craft next, that's a huge win. Surely the system can be polished over and they already have a few improvements in mind. So yeah, it's gonna stick around at least for the foreseeable future, and I'm sure it can develop into something great. Obtaining tier sets has never been so easy. You can find them from many sources besides raiding, which still remains the main acquisition way. You can find them inside the Grave Vault, even if you only push keys or doing PvP. You can also get one from getting this achievement, and there is also the Revival Catalyst coming up, in which you can convert Season 2 gear into tier set pieces. I mean, that's great. You can even unlock a full Transmog set, which comes from Mythic, without even stepping to the raid. That's huge if you are a collector. If you are someone who enjoys raiding, well, Aberus is such a blast. The boss fights are very fun, and it doesn't seem awfully difficult as some of the previous ones did. I'm looking at you, Kill Jaden. Yes, you. But no, seriously, the raid was quite easy this time around and got us all by surprise. But I think that's for the best. More people can try mythic raiding and be more competitive. So yeah, I think that's really good. Reputation has always been one of the core systems in WoW, but they always felt never-ending. They did work for many years, but luckily now they got reshaped into something we call renowned tracks. Instead of having 5 big ranks, you get more levels. Each time you reach a new renown level, you will unlock perks and get rewards, so in a sense it feels more satisfying. Climbing that renown ladder doesn't seem as boring as the traditional reputation grinds. In addition to that, you can unlock account-wide perks, and this makes grinding reputation on alts a lot easier. Speaking of alts, Dragonflight has been the most alt-friendly expansion we've ever got. I mean, that's just a fact. There are no borrow power systems in place, it's easy to gain reputation, and on top of that, you can get gear discounts on your alts. Pretty much you can level up your alt and just begin your gearing journey. There are so many ways to obtain gear now, be that outdoor or instance content. Everything seems to be easier to delve into. So if you got an army of alts, this is the expansion for you. And if that's not enough, 10.15 brings many leveling improvements to the table. You'll automatically learn all the riding ranks, so there is no need to run back to the riding trainer as you level up, and more importantly, you don't need to spend gold for it. As soon as you reach level 10, you should be able to mount up whenever you are. On level 30, you'll be able to fly, and at 40, you'll unlock the Master Riding, where you can fly at the maximum speed. When you hit level 60, you can then begin your adventures in the Dragon Isles. Also in 10.15, all the restrictions for unlocking allied race have been removed, with the exception of having one level 40 character in your account. This is a huge change, especially for creating BFA allied races, considering they have a bunch of requirements, and if you didn't play during BFA, well, now you need to put in a lot of effort to unlock them. So yeah, if you ever wanted to hop onto any allied race, I think that's the best time to do that. Well, not now, when 10.15 arrives. Since we're talking about races, in almost every recent patch, Blizzard adds more and more customization options to races, and even unlocking classes for all the races. Did you know that you can be a Tauren Rogue? Or a Lightforged Draenei Warlock? I mean, yeah, they might not fit lore-wise, but who cares? More customization options are always welcome in an MMO, because at the end of the day, you sit in your chair, you log into this game, and you want to create and be in a character that you enjoy. Another quality of life change is the new welcome back gift. If you have been long absent from the game because, well, life happened, or maybe some of your characters got a bit dusty, well, Blizzard got you covered. In 10.15, characters between level 10 to 60 that have been left behind will now have the option to receive a welcome back gift on the character select screen. The gift includes a full set of level appropriate gear, new 22 slot bags. You will also be teleported to your faction capital, and all the quest log will be cleaned out to provide a clean slate to start your leveling journey. All of these contribute in making the game more alt-friendly and I dare say less toxic. Nowadays, even when interacting with packs, I don't see as many toxic people as before, maybe because they left when the game wasn't at its best, or because people can choose where they want to invest their time and efforts. On the contrary, I see people being helpful and understanding. In any case, no one enjoys repeating the same content over and over, grinding power that you will lose at the end of the expansion only to be left a weak link. So even if you are one of those people who left, I urge you to reconsider and give Dragonflight a chance. I mean, you can play the game however you see fit now, so I think that's the ideal thing in any MMO. And that's it. If you are still watching, thank you, and pop an emoji in the comment section so I can see you. And let me know if you are still playing WoW, are you happy with the current state of the game? If you are a new player, are you thinking to try out World of Warcraft? And if you are a returning player, well, welcome home. I know you'll be back. As always, thank you so much for watching my content, and please drop a like if you have found this video helpful, enjoyable in any way. If you want to support my channel, please take a moment to subscribe and hit the notification bell. You can also find me over on Twitch at twitch.tv/undercatsgames, where I'm mostly streaming World of Warcraft. Good luck with whatever you're doing, and I will see you all on the next one. Bye!